Okay, well, good morning. I have 9 o'clock, so we're going to go ahead and get started. I want to welcome everyone to this call. This is a topic that I love to talk about. It's one of our favorite programs here at the Chamber. So we have a great turnout today to listen to this webinar, probably one of the most that we've had in quite some time. So there must be a lot of interest in interns and summer workers and helping our local college students and growing our population and our workforce. So I want to thank everyone who's joined us as a participant, and then I also want to thank our panelists. But first, I have to introduce Dr. Anton Reese. I'm Sandra Wilson. I'm the president of the Chamber, and Dr. Reese is my boss for the year as the chairman of the Paducah Chamber Board. So we're so proud to have him in that role this year. So Dr. Reese, would you like to make some opening comments?
Well, thank you, President Wilson, and certainly good morning to all of you. This is indeed a really important and timely topic. One of the things that certainly since I've been back as president in 2016, that I've really been pushing is the importance of we've got to continuously be mindful and strategic and intentional of ways in which we can retain our best and brightest to our region for economic development, cultural, social, community, and civic engagement. And I can think of no greater tool than the power of internships. And so you've been hearing quite a bit about that today, and the advantages and the opportunities for both the students. Certainly, I see Marla Rose is on here from our college. Is really about getting individuals connected to our remarkable and eclectic group of businesses, where then the students get the opportunity to firsthand learn the craft, if you will, and gosh, through some great networking and great work, who knows, then hopefully we'll be able to employ and keep many of them in our region. And I always emphasize the traditional age students, but certainly also our adults, particularly between the 20 to 40-year-old age group, is just critical to the growth and the vibrancy of any community, society, region, or organization. So looking forward to the powerful panelists and the insight that they'll bring. And with that, President Wilson, I will yield the microphone.
Thank you, Dr. Reese. We couldn't agree more with what you've just said. So thank you. As you've heard, I mean, this is a pet project of mine, I guess, in a way, to help our college students. And as you said, we really want to focus on all ages. As you mentioned, the 20s up to the 40s or more, the non-traditional students that have gone back, to try to help them to get these summer internships and summer work as well. So the Chamber is hosting this partnership today in this webinar in partnership with the West Kentucky Workforce Board and the Four Rivers SHRM organization. And the goal is to help our businesses learn more about starting a summer program or internships for college students. If the summer work and internships are the same thing, how are they different, what they can do. But why is that important to our region is one of the first things we want to talk about. So we believe that internships are a key component for developing a robust workforce. When you are looking at resumes about people to employ that you're going to hire, and you see that they have some work experience, it's impressive. If you see that they've had internships, it's also impressive. So we want our area students who are in college to have that experience, and we want them to come home, if they can, to work this summer and to begin to fall back in love with our community and want to be a part of this. A few years ago, the Paducah Chamber started our intern initiative, and it was really just a way to greet our area's summer interns and include them in local activities that we were hosting with our Paducah young professionals. We were assigning mentors and making sure that they had some help and some friend that they could turn to for the summer. So these students are investing their time here in our community. Our local businesses are investing time and money in them through their summer work. So we just want to encourage them, the students, to come back here to graduate. It's kind of a trial run for those students as well when they're working for those employers. Successful internships benefit employers. As we've said, it's kind of a trial run for them. Internships connect the employers with potential talent before they enter the job market. And it's a great way for companies to showcase themselves, as well as gain a set of extra hands during the busy summer months and see if they like that person, that they may want them to come back. The long-term goals of our Chamber Intern Initiative program are to build the community's future workforce, fill open jobs, and grow the community. We want to grow our population and our workforce, have more trained and skilled employees coming back to this area, help fill our open positions in the community, and just provide potential employees for our local employers. So in today's webinar, businesses will learn more about how to start a summer work program or internship, the who, what, when, and why. And we are currently, as the Paducah Chamber, compiling a list of local companies who are offering internships or summer work so that we can share it with our local colleges and universities, and we can also share it with our local students who want to come home for work. We had a full, nice feature in the Paducah Sun a couple of weeks ago about that. We had actually a lot of students contacting us trying to find out about those jobs. So we're keeping their names on file. And once we have a comprehensive list, what we believe is a comprehensive list of summer work available for this summer, we will also release that to those students. So we're really happy to be playing just an additional role in finding that. So for a business to take this survey, you can go to paducahchamber.org. And it's on programs and survey, but we're also at the end of this going to have a URL code. We've really stepped up here with our technology, and you will be able to take the survey immediately at the end of this webinar. WPSD is live streaming this call, and we're also recording it. We'll have it available on our Facebook page and our website later for businesses who may have missed it, or if you want to just come back and watch it. But today, if you have questions during the webinar, you can enter those in the chat box if you're on Zoom. If you're watching on Facebook, you can put those in the Facebook comments if you'd like. I'm not sure we'll be able to get to all of those on Facebook, but we will be checking that throughout. And then also you can email those to me, and I'll be watching for my email, swilson@paducahchamber.org. So we really want to try to help as many people as we can to get the information that they need. Our program facilitator today is Crystal Ballantyne. She is the Senior Vice President and HR Officer at FNB Bank. And Crystal's been a good friend to the Chamber for many years. She's been involved with us in many ways. She has 20 plus years of banking experience. She served as Human Resources Officer at FNB Bank since 2006 and was promoted to Senior Vice President in 2018. She obtained her Professional in Human Resources certification in 2012. She's a past president of the Leadership Paducah Alumni Association and very connected here with us at the Chamber. So now let's welcome Crystal Ballantyne to moderate this forum today. Thank you, Crystal.
Thank you, Sandra, and good morning, everyone. As I was preparing for this today, I thought back to that 20 plus years ago that Sandra mentioned, of my experience in banking. In a way, it was kind of an internship. I was hired while I was a senior in high school to work at the local bank in Hickman County and run transactions during my fourth period physics class. I didn't miss missing that class. So in a way, I think that was probably a beginning to an internship for them. So I'm thankful for that, because here I am 20 plus years later. Today, we have representatives with us from 3 local colleges and universities. Each helps students across degree programs to find successful employment, which helps the student build career skills and strengthens their resume. Hannah Carroll is the Internship Coordinator for Career Services at Murray State University. Marla Rhodes is the Career Services Manager at West Kentucky Community and Technical College, and Ben Stennett is the Recruitment and Career Services Officer at the UK College of Engineering Paducah campus. Welcome to you guys. We're going to start with Hannah. So Hannah, why don't you start and tell us a little bit about the program at Murray State?
Absolutely. Well, thank you for having me. First of all, we're really excited to be a part of this. So here in Career Services, we have several different aspects of what we do. My sole position is all about internships. So I do a whole lot of different things when it comes to internships. I help students learn how to search because, when I graduated and left, college, I was just, on monster.com, like, okay, jobs in org.com. I didn't really know a whole lot. So I really get down to, the bolts of how to actually search for an internship, where are they located. We have a online career services platform called Handshake, and I really help them utilize that and figure out what jobs are out there. So that's a big part of it, is kind of helping students navigate. I also work with employers in bringing in internships to our university. So a lot of times I'll discuss it with the employer. We talk about the eligibility, the criteria, and then they tell me, okay, who do they want to target? What kind of programs, what kind of majors do they want to target? And then we connect them with them, as well as putting it on Handshake for the students to go in and apply. So we do a lot of different things. We have classroom presentations that we like to give about internships across campus. We partner with the Disney College program, all of the different internship opportunities that are out there. So we really have, a very large program here at Murray State University, and we're really proud of that.
Great, thanks, Hannah. Okay, Marlo, we're gonna pass it to you.
Okay, can you hear me? Okay, my name is Marla Rhodes, and I'm the manager here at WKCTC Career Services. I did come from Murray State's Career Services, and so I have a combined about 20 years experience in the field, and I love what I do. And so pretty much to say ditto to what she said, that's what we do. I go everywhere from beginning with students with the career counseling, all the way up to finding whatever type of job it is. And like you say, encouraging that internship or that summer job to get that career-related experience is the best opportunity for the students. But again, just pretty much going through and listing the jobs for the students, helping them with their resumes, cover letters, job application, finding the different jobs that are out there is really important. Just like Hannah said, it's just them allowing to find them out there on the web. But yes, pretty much the same thing, but yeah, just helping the students find positions, going through, working with employers. Employers contact me on a daily basis. And with that, then send out the job postings, contact the academic departments to also share those. So just trying to get the word out for the students, because then again, we're just trying to keep them here in the environment of Paducah and the McCracken County area.
You're up, Ben.
Yeah, thanks for having me today. So my role is a little bit different because I'm in a department. And so whenever companies are coming to me, they're coming either looking for a mechanical engineer or a chemical engineer internship. So it's very specialized in that. And so it is a little different environment. If you're not familiar with our program, we are a 4-year degree from the University of Kentucky. Our students are able to finish all 4 years here in the Paducah area. We partner with WKCTC, and they're earning their associate's degree through them, but they get to take engineering classes day one. So of our graduates, 70% of them stay within an hour of Paducah. So when we're talking about building the workforce here, we obviously want to build out our program more because we see those students wanting to stay in this area and having those family ties. So in my role I do recruitment as well. I do scholarships and career services. My career service hat is often a coach. And so I'm doing those resume reviews. I'm helping students prep for mock interviews, asking them questions. And then I'm the liaison for companies to advertise whenever they're looking for those specific roles. Our average intern is making about $20 an hour. And so, students want to talk through even that whenever they're being offered a position, what does that look like? So I think we're all kind of coaches in that arena. And so we're glad to help today companies pursue starting internships.
All right, thank you all. We're going to start the question and answer period at this point, and I have some questions for you. So if you want to answer, then I'm just going to have you guys just unmute and go for it. The first question is, what is the difference between temporary summer employment and an internship?
I can go ahead on that one, actually. So there's a whole lot of differences when it comes to, just the temporary employment versus the internship. I'll come out the bat and say that obviously both of them are super important. They're super important to put on your resume and really spin those to your future employer and tell them, here's the experience that I have. So I don't want to discount one or the other. They're both very, very, very beneficial. The main difference is probably when it comes to an internship versus summer employment is the educational aspects that you gain from the internship. You go in knowing that it is an internship. You have that mentor or supervisor that works alongside of you. You usually have educational goals that are set up. And then many times when you're having that internship, it's going to flow alongside the major that you're pursuing at the university. Whether, so, you know, if it's just a summer job, it may just be, you know, across the board type of employment. But specifically for an internship, a lot of times you're seeking employment through your actual future career. So, you know, the educational benefits, there's a certain set, you know, usually amount of hours. It's that supervisory benefit, that mentorship that you really benefit from it. And then if you're gaining course credit through the university, then that also is a major aspect of it. So you're going to be working with your academic advisor, you're going to be working with your professor for the course. And so you're going to gain those credit hours. There may be a paper, you know, at the end, or in some, you know, some kind of presentation. But I would say in a nutshell, it's going to be that educational benefit and also that networking skills that you're going to pull from it and maybe have that future network as well. So those are the main differences. Both are vital. You know, the summer work, it's going to build your wheelhouse. It's going to make you, you know, that much more employable. You're going to have a lot of experience to speak on when it comes to that future interview to get your job.
Ben, do you or Marlo have anything to add to that one?
I would like to add, definitely with both of those areas, the one thing that I try to stress to students is getting those soft skills, essential skills, even if it is through just a part-time work experience or a summer job. But yes, just like she said, the hard skills going into those internships and just narrowing down on those and learning the ins and outs of what is actually required at the job. But yes, I think either one of them are just a good opportunity for students. One may pay more than the other, just kind of depending on what it is. And some students like to just get a summer job just to get away from the school aspect. But we do really encourage the internships because it's good for the employer. And just like Hannah said, especially for networking and getting those jobs once you graduate, and just setting those up so that you don't have to worry about that process. Mm-hmm.
Great. I know at FNB, we hire college students every summer, and we have several that have worked for us for summers, multiple summers, and then it ended up turning into an internship. Hannah, I have a young man that works with me now that started as just summer help, and then it worked out for his last semester for it to be an internship where he was getting credit for that at the same time as working for us. So it was mutually beneficial. Are there benefits to my company for offering an internship program versus summer employment? Or is it basically the same?
I think there's going to be many benefits when it comes to offering the internship. You're really going to build that connection with the local universities. And again, that networks for your company beyond just having the student have a network. So we're going to, you know, vet students for you. We're going to pull information for you. We're going to help you find that talent that you're seeking. And then you know who to reach out to in the future. You know, hey, I had a really great student come from organizational communication at Murray State University. Can you reach back out to them for us? So there's so many benefits with building that relationship with the university. And then the students come in knowing that this is going to be an educational environment. So you kind of have a an easy flow through the years of knowing, okay, this is what to expect. These are the things I'm looking for. And it's really going to help you be able to let your intern know, you know, okay, this is what we're expecting from you. These are the things that are going to benefit you. And it's really going to help you kind of in the future say, okay, you know, do we want to onboard this student? You know, what do we want to do when it comes to actually hiring them, hopefully in the future? So yeah, there's so many benefits for the company. Again, it's just a really great process. You're building that network. You're getting students who know that this is going to be something that they can put on their resume. And again, you can mentor and as well as learn something hopefully new from these students because, you know, we're populating really great students out there. We hope, you know, really great racers and across the board for Ben and Marlo. So yeah, many benefits. I could probably go on all day about the benefits, but I'll let them speak on it as well.
Definitely. Go ahead, Ben, sorry.
I think one of the key aspects is for an internship, they're going to be working within their area of interest. And so for a company, you know, you could view an internship as really a 1, 2, 3 year interview, you know, so you get to see that student in that environment, you get to see them in their stress. So it's a very low risk with a high reward opportunity for those companies, because, you know, if you're struggling to find talent, and you're not offering an internship, I think an internship's the easiest way to judge that person over the long haul. It's really difficult just to know, you know, in an hour interview if this candidate's going to work out. But having that experience, them being in their element, them being in their field, I think really allows that company that insight.
I would say too, whenever you have the intern, the student really wants to participate and work and show a good work ethic. And that's something that you see a lot going in. One of the issues I have with when students graduate is they'll say, well, I don't feel confident enough to go in and do the job. You know, like I've only had academic training. But if they have that internship, then they feel more confident about what they're doing and just have that background knowledge that they can perform those hard skills. But definitely either one, like you say, are really good opportunities for students just to get out there and get the internship, and for the employer, because again, they may be grooming someone as well as mentoring someone for them at the same time that would benefit their company once they graduate.
Are there any Department of Labor concerns that the employer should have when it comes to interns? Any of you guys?
There are different stipulations, and just looking on, not any specifics, but just looking on the Department of Labor website definitely tells you the ins and the outs. To be considered for a non-paid versus a paid, there are just a lot of stipulations and rules that an employer can just go down through and see what they want to participate in, if they want to pay the student or not. But definitely there are some guidelines that they need to follow, and they're readily available, and we also provide them to them.
Great. And Hannah, I think you've already touched on this question some, but how does the student receive college credit for the internship?
Yeah, absolutely. So there's a couple different ways that they can receive college credit here at Murray State University. So first and foremost, they actually can either take a course within their major, or they can take a course with me if they need a general course. So the first step really is to meet with their academic advisor and say, hey, you know, I'm thinking about taking an internship. You know, is that something that we actually can do within our department? Is that something that will actually count for course credit? That advisor will be able to tell them, yes, we actually have courses that are designated for that. So, you know, it may be, you know, OSH 583. That's just a total random number there. And that's the course that you're going to take. So you're going to sign up for that concurrent with the employment. You want to make sure that you are having that internship while you are employed, having that internship course, I should say. And then if they don't have the course within the major, they can take a general GUI course with me and still get that course credit, that academic credit. And again, that helps us, you know, that the paperwork, that helps us be able to outline the educational benefits, all of the different things that are involved in it. I can actually share, let's see, when we're talking about this, let me just share my screen if that is okay. Just to give you all a little idea. Let me put this in presentation mode. Just to give you some slides and kind of an idea of what, you know, exactly the criteria can be. So this is the general criteria for an internship when it comes to a student at Murray State University. It's probably a whole lot like what our other panelists are dealing with. But, you know, you want to make sure that they've been here for a little while. They have a GPA that's going to be up to standard. And then they want to make sure that they're completing the right amount of hours for an internship. So the norm is usually 300 hours per 3-hour course. So 100 hours for a 1-hour course and the like. And so a lot of students sign up for these because, okay, this is great criteria. This is something that I'm eligible to do. And then this is kind of the general process. And I know this is a lot on the screen, but really, again, they're going to meet with that advisor. They're going to make sure that they have all their ducks in a row, that they are signing up for the correct courses. And then they're going to develop that resume. They're going to come meet with us in career services, have that mock interview, get that professional headshot, do all of the things that they can do for it. You know, visit the career fair, all of the things that we have to offer, research those companies, and then they're going to be able to interview for those positions. Once that position is secure, they actually have have academic paperwork through us that they fill out. And that kind of just says, okay, I'm taking the course through Murray State University. This internship qualifies. I kind of look over it, make sure it qualifies. The advisor looks over it as well. So it's a very easy process. We walk them through it, and I walk the employers through it as well. So, if you're an employer on the other side of this, don't worry. We definitely let you know what these criteria are. I always send you a link to all the criteria when you're building a brand new internship, because it's important to note the amount of hours and the amount of supervision that these students need to have. So yeah, that's kind of just a little bit about the process. Again, these are kind of the internship forms that we have. We like to fill out, and it's easy process. And again, reach out to me if you have any other questions on it, because I love speaking on this every day. So that's just in general kind of the process for us.
Thank you, Hannah. I know a lot of people are probably asking, do we pay? Are internships paid or unpaid?
Ours is a little specific. Again, it's within our major. And I know I graduated from Murray State with occupational safety and health. They're very similar to us in that all internships would be paid for us to count them as an internship. Now for us, college credit isn't as, our students don't have to have that to graduate. So a lot of them won't pursue that avenue. They will do college credit when they're doing a year co-op with the company. But for us, those internships would be paid.
It can definitely be either way, depending on how the student's looking at it as well. Just to gain that career-related experience, they may just go ahead and offset the cost somewhere else, but or some way else. But definitely, either way that the student can gain that experience is what we look for. If it is paid, it's a plus, obviously, to the student, and just kind of keeping that in mind that either way, an internship is an internship, and it's going to look great on a resume. And I think, too, that just the power word of an internship is going to give that student the opportunity to feel a little bit more professional about what they are doing for their summer work.
And here at MSU, just to give you an idea, and we have an average of 70% of our internships are actually paid. And we speak to the employers and we tell them, obviously, you're going to get a larger pool when you're paying for these internships, but we do understand that there's some maybe nonprofits out there that can't pay for these. But we tell them to, put it out there anyways. We'll definitely, promote it, and hopefully you'll get, a good pull for it. It's just, obviously, if you pay for it, you are going to get a larger amount of students that are applying.
I agree. And we always, at F&B, we always do pay. They're working. So we compensate them for that pay. So we did have a question just come in is, what is the process for an employer to enroll in an internship program?
All right. Ours actually goes through our academic departments right now. And so an employer, if they contact me, then I send that information through the department. And that's how they actually go about setting that up with whichever department that may be in. But definitely I can go through and be that first person that actually lists those and work well with the different departments.
Crystal, I want to step in and just mention that in case they missed it at the earlier part, that there is a survey the Paducah Chamber is offering for employers to complete so that we can help get that information for local internships to the 3 schools and then to the students as well.
Thank you, Sandra.
Our process here is, again, I'll go ahead and share my slide again. I just had this pulled up, so this is actually helping me out a lot. We kind of take it really easy around here. Just contact us. You can contact me. You can contact Travis Plunkett, because we're both going to work with you on several different routes. So we're going to look at promoting your position on Handshake. Travis is very, very good at helping you put that on there, getting the students applying for it on Handshake. We're going to talk to you about our career fairs. We have career fairs that run every semester. We have usually an average of 3 a semester, and we're going to tell you about how to promote and recruit students at our career fairs. They've been remote for the past 3 semesters, and they have been running very well. We're very impressed with the technology that Handshake has been able to offer. Students can video chat with employers, anything down the line. So we definitely get you on Handshake. We get you started with the career fairs. Our next career fairs coming up are going to be this fall. And then we also kind of do that internal networking where I'm going to email those departments and say, hey, here's so-and-so. They have a great opportunity. Do you have any students that may come to mind? And the professor will say, yes, awesome. Thank you so much. We're going to send it out to them. And we connect a whole lot of times through that process. A lot of times students will contact me and follow up and say, hey, I saw that position my professor sent me. Can you give me more information on it? Absolutely. Let me get you connected with the employer. So we really try to run it through Handshake. Again, that's our platform. But we kind of just see what the employer is needing. Again, I send them the link. I send them the information they need to build an internship. And a lot of times, and you guys are obviously going to be able to speak on this more than me, they're going to work with their HR department in order to kind of, make sure that they're following the guidelines, the Department of Labor standards, all of that's online for them to access, and make sure that they're actually, abiding by the process, and then they're going to reach back out to us and get it started. So that's just in general what we kind of do when it comes to onboarding for an employer.
Hannah, you've mentioned Handshake several times. As an employer, is that something that I have access to, or is that something only the schools and the students have access to?
We give you access to Handshake. You'll have an employer account. There's 3 different types of accounts on Handshake. So I have the career services side of things. The students have student accounts, and then we have an employer side. So once you get connected with us, Travis will set up kind of a link for you and your company, and you'll be able to get on there. Handshake is very user friendly. If you're missing something, Handshake's going to pop up and say, hey, you need to add this data in. And it's such a great platform because you can reach out to students. You can check out their profile. Their resumes and cover letters are often, uploaded into there. And then the career fairs are just phenomenal through Handshake. It gives you the list of students that have registered. You can actually put events on there as an employer if you want to, and students can register for your own events. So yes, we give access, and again, we'll walk you through it because I know when it comes to technology and new things, it can be scary. And when I came on board with Handshake, it was very user friendly. They have Handshake University that walks you through it. You can take those courses and kind of see what's going on. So yes, we give access to our employers so that they have their own account so that they can reach out to students through Handshake.
And UK
Is that
also,
something, I was going to say, do you use that as well?
yeah, UK also uses Handshake. And so once you're familiar, it's the same system, and you could be posting. Handshake really eliminates us, so it gives employers direct access to the students and to be able to review the resumes.
I think that probably answered a lot of the other questions that we had on here about how does a company publicize that they're offering internships. So we already hear that Handshake is a great tool for that, and the contact with you guys at the universities. What are you seeing as far as benefits? Is the organization providing benefits to the interns?
So companies do have a few options here. For a lot of our traditional students, they're going to have insurance still under their parents as college students. Some folks will go through a temp agency to hire interns, so they'll let that agency handle that. Others may W-2 folks and keep them at less than 30 hours, so they're not worried about the benefit side of things. So it's really depends on the company and what they're wanting out of the position. And if they're planning on, is this just going to be a summer position, or is this going to be continue on as a part-time position throughout the school year?
I think too, it just depends on the individual employment or employer and the organization. But just like Ben said, keeping those hours under a lot of times, because whenever you do bring in an intern as an employer, you're not having that exact cost of what you would for a normal full-time hire. And so you're kind of getting that same person to be back there and work in the industry or the organization. But at the same time, you're not having to pay them as much as you would if it was a full-time person.
Absolutely. And I think the benefits go both ways on this. There's so many different benefits for the students specifically. They're listed here. And that's the really cool thing about internships that we really try to promote is internships are going to be that stepping stone that's going to give you that confidence, whether you're the employer or the student. It's going to get you that network, and 85% of it is networking. So that's huge. You have to get your name out there. You have to get, kind of your toe in the water. So internships are the way to do that. Again, it's going to expand the students' knowledge, and it's actually going to keep the employer up to date on trends, because while they're here in their courses, they're learning about what's new, what's in the news, what's going on in the world, especially, for Ben, he can tell you in engineering and in OSHA, there's so many new things that are coming abroad. So these interns can potentially bring in that to the company. And then again, the intern can learn from the company on that. You're going to gain exposure, that cultural diversity, all those communication skills, soft skills is where it's at. So this is the way they're going to learn that. And again, those transferable skills that these students are really going to gain. We could all go on and on and on about the internship benefits. There's so many, they're vast. It's exciting when students get that internship on their resume. It's a confidence booster for everyone all the way around. And again, that company is going to be able to say, okay, we want this person on our team, and they can actually onboard them. And that's one of our goals too, is to kind of get them full-time as well. So that's a little bit about that.
One of the questions that we have is, let's say I want to start an internship program. What is the timeline? When should I start making those connections? When should I start reaching out to you all? How do we get that set up?
Pretty much any time that an employer has something to do, that they want one, definitely just start from the ground up and go. Depending on if it is a summer internship or if it's a semester by semester, this kind of depends on those stipulations. And like they mentioned before, excuse me, just about having to have so many hours within an internship, depending upon that, that may be how long it is going to have to last, how many hours per week, and just all the additional information that goes into that.
We will start having companies reach out in the fall for the next summer. And so the earlier you start that process, the better for your pool candidates. For us, a lot of our interns will start either late May or beginning of June and go till about August 1st. So our school is starting mid-August. So typically those students don't want to go all the way full up to the start of school. They want to have a little bit of separation there to just kind of get ready mentally and just taking care of the things that they need. For us, whenever companies reach out, we'll typically give I will collect all the resumes. And so I will give students 2 weeks to apply. So we're a little delayed with COVID. We often see a big push in February for the summer. We're seeing that big push now here in March. So it's definitely not too late. So if you have any opportunities, reach out to us.
And I guess I could just chime in and say sooner rather than later. Students are looking now for summer and fall. They're always going to be ahead of the game. So if you can get those posted and ready to go, it's going to benefit you both. And then you can spend the extra time tweaking it and getting to know Handshake and all the different programs out there.
I would agree with that. We start getting calls from students and parents of students, usually about January or February, looking for what their child is going to do for the summertime. So we have already posted for our summer helpers, and we're actually starting the process of testing and sending out communication about that right now. So for the three of you, do you have any career fairs coming up that employers would need to be involved in, or if they want to be involved in?
I'm currently in the process of setting up just industry specific career fairs. It is a different opportunity for us being virtual with COVID. And just like Ben said, everybody's kind of a little bit later than normal because just trying to depend on if we can be in person or if it needs to be virtual. But I send out communications, which I'm sure everybody else does too, just about what is coming up. I don't have a specific date just yet, but working on that with the individual departments.
Our big ones for this semester actually just took place last week, but we do have one more that's left. It is the teacher career fair. However, that one's kind of ran by our education department. But this coming fall, we're going to have them again. Again, we have all majors. We have STEM and OSH. So we have a lot of different opportunities for them as well. So keep in mind those career fairs as well. And it's good to go ahead and get kind of acclimated and introduced to Travis here in Career Services. That way you just have that relationship. You can go ahead and practice and work on the different things. But yeah, they're going to be coming up in the fall. However, there's internships that are posted year round on Handshake. There's internships at all times if they want to go ahead and post things or just look around on all of our programs. We have a new partnership with Parker Dewey, which is kind of along the lines of this. So these are micro internships. So if you have a small project for students, and I can actually share I know I'm just going to be like a chronic share screen person today. But if you have any kind of small projects, we tell students to kind of look at it as, so in Career Services, I have a student worker who's wonderful, and they do a lot of my filing, and they do a lot of my answering my phones, and a lot of our social media, all of that. Companies can hire students to do those for just small projects, and they don't have to have actually, the student worker aspect of it. So that's kind of a way to look at it. But if you want to get involved with Parker Dewey, if you have just some small projects, just to test it out, maybe test the waters, reach out to me. Parker Dewey is listed on our website. We'll get you hooked up with an account. And that's also a really cool way in the meantime, while you're waiting for the career fairs, to maybe have some small projects out there that they can do, Excel sheets, marketing, social media. It's a really cool way. All of the Parker Dewey positions are paid. They're usually remote, which is helpful in the time of COVID. And it's a really, again, a cool way to network as well. So yeah, look for the career fairs this coming fall.
We do not have any career fairs coming up, but if a company wanted to come in and do an info session in front of our students, they're welcome to do that. I mean, we still have, obviously guidelines that we want to follow to provide a safe experience, but we are allowing companies to come in just to share, hey, here's what our company does. This is our culture, and this is the positions we're looking to fill. And then we can go ahead and set up actually for them interviews and start collecting those resumes for them.
And when you partner with Ben, make sure you also partner with us, because that's brilliant. And we love having employers come in because students benefit from these sessions. So let's just do that mutually across the board. I love that idea.
Like you say, we post all of the job postings that we do get from employers. They may be part-time, full-time, but they do go on our website. And whenever employers come in, just like you say, just to get those opportunities out there for students any time of the year. We just like to focus on networking and getting their resumes ready for career fairs and other events when they are on campus.
What would you guys recommend as an employer? If I want to start an internship program, what should my best practices be? What are going to be the things that help benefit the student the most?
I would say definitely providing them that the hands-on skills, the hard skills that they need to learn within the industry. As Hannah was saying, I do have a slide that also talks about, let me see if I can do this real quick. Oh, what's the wrong one? Let's see. Sorry, it's come over to the side. Well, there we go. Technical difficulty. Can you see the one that says soft skills, essential skills? Okay, sorry about my double screens have got me. But definitely focusing on those skills is what we want employers to also gain out of that for the students. And so with you all starting that, just thinking about what type of job description that you want them to do, as well as just looking at how they can benefit your company. But you can always contact us and we will just get the ball rolling, like you say, and go through the academic departments and find those positions, collect resumes, whatever we need to do to help you with that.
I think a big thing when it comes to the benefits of an internship is cross-training. Make sure that you're training them across the board. That's so important. That's so important just for your general employees. Give them experience in all of the aspects of what you do as a company, from, payroll up to, make sure you're cleaning up your space, or make sure you're out in the community, or what have you. Give them a really well-rounded view, a 360 view of that company, so that they're prepared for things like that in the future. I think it's such a beneficial tool to have that cross training when it comes to having the internship. And I think maybe sitting down with them in the beginning and outlining those goals, and then revisiting mid-internship, and then again at the end of the internship, tell them what their strengths were, tell them what the things are that they need to work on, and ask them for, a review. How did you do as an employer? How did you do as a mentor for them? And then again, follow up with them in the future, maybe check on them. Students would love to have something like that in their wheelhouse or in their network, that they can have somebody follow up with them. But definitely give them a really good view of the company, have those goals outlined, check back in with them. Check in with them on a regular basis. I think a lot of times, there's that fear and anxiety of, am I doing a good job? I'm not getting any feedback. I want to make sure that I'm doing things well. Check in with them along the way, and I think that'll go really far with them as well.
Yeah, I think that mentorship aspect of this is vital. And so having someone who they own the internship process for that student. And I would tell employers, start with the end in mind. Where do you want that student to be at the end of this experience? And share that with them. I think sometimes employers, they don't want to put too much on the intern, and so they underutilize them. I would say our interns would rather be overutilized, overstretched, to the point of possibly failing at something. I think that's great for them. I think that's when they really start to learn. So how are you going to provide that high challenge along with that high support? And like Hannah said, those regular check-ins, how are you doing? Are we moving in the direction where this is a meaningful experience for you? I think all that's important. The internships that my students brag on are the ones where they have a big responsibility. And so they want to talk about the project that they owned. So if you have a specific project for them, that's a great way for them to love your company, make an impact, and have a great summer.
Just to add to, I always say to the employers, kind of be open to what they may bring that's new in technology or new in how they do certain tasks, because we're all kind of set in our ways and as employers a lot of times. But students can bring new things to the table, and just to be open to what they can bring may benefit you in the long run, may save time, but just to being open to that as well.
I think you all provided wonderful feedback on that question. And I don't know if you noticed, I was taking notes too. So there's been some really good information here. And I'll just personally say too, I think sometimes it's easy as an employer, if you have someone that is short term with you, if there's an issue, you sometimes don't want to deal with it. But I would encourage you, for the sake of the student, for the sake of any employee, have that conversation. They're never going to get better unless you are honest and real with them. So you need to be able to give them that feedback and know that you're helping them along the way. I think it's easy to kind of say, oh, I don't want to have that confrontation, but it's truly helping everybody. And you're not doing them any favors by holding back that information if you have something that will help them with that. We are getting close to the end of our time. So I'm going to ask you guys one last question. What is the best advice for companies on the fence regarding offering internships? Ben, let's start with you.
I mentioned this earlier, that this is really a low risk, high reward. So for companies who, if you're thinking about, I want access to the best talent, well, your company culture is either going to attract the best talent or it's going to repel the best talent. And so an internship is just the easiest way for you to interview them, as well as them to interview you, to know, is this where I want to be? And so I know our students, and probably a lot of the students who stay at all three of our institutions, they want to be living in this side of the state. And so if you want them staying with you, they have family roots here, then make sure you're providing that great experience for them.
I would add to, just thinking about what you just said about it being a short term, it's an investment, yes. You're not guaranteed to continue that investment, but hopefully, and a lot of times it is to the benefit of the employer, because you are getting someone that has that, just like Ben said, just right now education, academics, that is going to support what the field is that they're going into, and that they're going to be able to bring that to the table. But definitely, it's always worth a try, and you know, we can all learn from trial and error. And so I would definitely say to give that student the chance, because again, to keep them in this area, to give you somebody that has those hard skills and you can bring in, and also let them see those soft skills they have to develop, like communication and things. It's really going to benefit the employer as well as the student.
And I think I'll just jump in and say, you know, jump that fence, do it. There's so many benefits. I'm all for it. We're here to support you. I think that in general, it's just going to breathe life into your organization, whether, you know, you're trying to break up the monotony of, you know, what you've been doing on a day-to-day basis, or you're trying to try new things or get out in the community. This is your way to do it. You're going to have new faces coming in, excitement coming in, and that's just going to filter through the entire organization. You're going to build a really strong climate of, you know, excitement and giving back. And I think we're probably all in these organizations to give back and serve. So this is a really great way to do it. So jump that fence, get on over to the other side, and give us a call. We're excited to work with you guys.
All right, Sandra, we're going to turn it back over to you, ma'am.
I'm not finished with you yet. Just a couple of comments that people have said. We will be combining our list. Obviously, I've been promoting that we're trying to get that information so that we can share it with students because we want them to come back to our area. But we'll be working with you guys to make sure that we have your information in there as well. I love the whole handshake. I've got to get familiar with that. When you say handshake, during COVID-19, you're like, no, you can't do handshakes, but you're talking about a whole different program that is sounds like a really wonderful tool for us to be able to utilize. A couple of things. We talked about children and students. We also want to remember non-traditional students. That's a really important aspect for us, that these non-traditional students that may be a little bit older also are needing this experience, because while they're continuing their education, they need it in their field. Short-term housing is one question that we've had. If someone is coming from out of town to this area, do you all help them with short-term housing, or are they pretty much on their own?
If they're a student and specifically they need housing for maybe the courses they're taking, then we work with them as far as our housing goes. As far as what the employer offers, I think that's going to be a conversation that they have with HR, depending on maybe like the financial situation of the company. You know, do they have the extra income or extra flow to offer something like that? That's not something that we honestly work on a lot, but that's something that can definitely be brought to the forefront a little bit more. Usually if the student is, you know, taking the courses, they usually have some kind of housing already set up in the college realm. But obviously if there is non-traditional situations, then we do need to, you know, work with them on that. And again, some companies do offer housing. Ben can probably speak on this a little bit more as far as the engineering side of it. I know that a lot of these companies are nationwide, and a lot of these students kind of get sent out nationwide. So obviously they are going to need some kind of housing in those situations.
Yeah, a lot of our students are local, and so housing's not an issue. But if you are hiring from outside the area, what I'm seeing other companies do is offer a housing stipend. And so that's typically just a one-time stipend to cover their, and then they will themselves, the student will find the housing that fits within those parameters. So
Okay.
Good question.
Good. Marlo, anything you want to add on that?
I was going to say, I do know too, if it is somewhere that's away, a lot of times they will work with the chambers and looking at apartment listings or things like that. I'll play the chamber.
I was there.
But going out there and just helping them assist it, maybe not exactly secure it for them, but at least offer them all the resources that they need to be able to find housing.
We do have that list that we can help share with them. Some are more open to short-term rentals for the summer, so we're happy to share that. And our chamber members who are have that can also let us know, and we'll share that with them. So just a couple of reminders. I loved it when you said, Hannah, just jump on and do it. Just take that leap. It's not that intimidating for a small business that may have never offered one. I mean, obviously, Crystal and a lot of our employers have offered them for many years, but also because we have so many members that are small business, I want to encourage them to do that. They offer such unique experiences for interns because they're unique businesses in our community. And so we want them to do that, whether retail, nonprofit, whatever. We want to encourage them to also do those internships. It's not that intimidating. Once you get it set up, or summer work, either one, once you get it set up, then it'll make it easier going. So in wrap up, I want to thank the West Kentucky Workforce Board and the Four Rivers SHRM. I mean, for coordinating this. You guys did a great job in bringing this all together. It was kind of a crossing in the emails. I was emailing Mary Ann Medlock saying, hey, we want to do something. And she was like, so do we. We're already working on it. I was like, can we please be involved with it? Because the interns are so important for our community. So thank you to the West Kentucky Workforce Board and Four Rivers SHRM for coordinating this and partnering with us to help our students in this area. Thank you, Crystal, for coordinating and being our moderator today. And Hannah, Marlo, and Ben, I can see why students love to work with you. Your enthusiasm shows through and your true passion for working with students. So thank you guys for being with us. We're going to put a screen up that has your email addresses on it, so that people can see that if they need to reach out to you. And then it'll also be on the Paducah Chamber Facebook page later today. So those are our panelists, how to reach you by email. And then there is that URL code. If you hold your phone over it on the bottom right hand of your screen and start to take a photo of it, it should prompt you to our survey. So I want to encourage you to take that survey, tell us about your job openings. And again, we'll be sharing that information with Hannah and Marlo and Ben, and we're going to coordinate our list. When you complete the survey, be sure to push submit. Once you push submit, our survey is over. I think someone took it on their phone and it did lead them to another survey. Ours just asks very basic questions about, do you plan to offer summer internships? And then we'll get back in touch with you to confirm that information and to find out more about it. We also want to encourage those, that are attending, please take that survey. Let us know when you're doing it. And one more reminder, coming up next week, we are hosting a webinar about our local innovation programs. That's with the McCracken County Public Library as the sponsor, and it's about Sprocket and Codify and their youth coding league. So you can register to attend that at paducahchamber.org. And again, we'll have their information up on our Facebook page. Thank you all so much for being with us today as a participant and as one of our panelists. So thank you. We look forward to working with you in the future. Have a great day.